That was actually Lieutenant Governor Jeff Colyer, and in the speech that you heard live on WIBW TV earlier, Tracy Mann thanked the former governor, Jeff Colyer, for bringing him on as lieutenant governor when Governor Colyer took office. We want to get you a look at some more results, but I want to explain what happened here. We're going to look at some of the Shawnee County numbers. They have just become final within the past few minutes. What happened was earlier this evening, and it wasn't even until about 8:30 or so, we finally got the first numbers in from Shawnee County, which reflected the advanced ballots and the early voting. Then there was nothing else until about 5-10 minutes ago. Kimberly Donahue and Phil Anderson, our team members, have been down at the elections office, and what they found out for us was that there were two, this is Elections Commissioner Andrew Howell saying that there were two polling locations where they did not use their second tabulating machine all day. So what happened was the judges for those polling sites didn't think that they had to bring those sticks back. However, that was required. So in order to finalize the numbers, to ensure that those counts were accurate, they needed to go back, get those sticks, verify that they were empty, and then they could finally bring in the numbers, reveal them, and release them to the public. And so this is what the result is. Mike Kage and Josh Luttrell, who were even in those early voting numbers, have now been separated, and Mike Kage, the incumbent, is now leading with 60% of the vote over the Democratic challenger, Josh Luttrell, in the Shawnee County District Attorney's race. The margin of victory in the primary was less than 10 votes, so this time around a little less stressful for Lisa Mosier in the results that we're seeing so far. I do want to go back and show you State Senate District 19 with 92 of 94 precincts reporting. Rick Cluse holding the lead by about 700 votes is the margin here over Anthony Hensley, the Democratic incumbent. He has been the Senate Minority Leader since 1996. He's been in the Senate since 1992. He served 16 years in the Kansas House before that. Rick Cluse is known to many people in the Topeka area. God's Storehouse, his ministry that he has had there. So he has been building that name recognition. And then they both have been advertising very heavily in this race. So this is one that we will be watching, because as we've been talking about the turnout when it comes to advanced balloting, we had more than 800,000 people vote early. About 86% of the advanced ballots by mail have been returned so far. But as long as they were postmarked by 7 o'clock tonight, they can still come in until Friday and be counted. Is that enough here? Are there enough provisional ballots here? We don't know. That is something that we will be watching. The Secretary of State's office will be continuously updating every day as they get more and more of these mail ballots in. So what was the path to victory in some of these races tonight? This is where the results are standing from the Secretary of State's office. Those that are the darkest color mean all the results are in. You can see there are still some Shawnee County results out. The Elections Commissioner Andrew Howell is saying it might be about 11:15 before they get their final run of numbers in, as again they try to verify and make sure that every media stick that they had put in the machine that was supposed to be counted has been counted, and that every media stick that went out is in fact accounted for. That's what's been happening in the Shawnee County Elections Office tonight. It's a story that we're going to continue following in the days ahead. The counties that are in the gray area, some of the results are in. Again, that's Shawnee County, not all of them. Those that are in the white, some of these here in western Kansas, we don't have any results in for yet. But as we watch the numbers come in throughout the evening, so take a look at the president, vice president numbers. You can see here by county, those that are the red or the pink are those that went to the President Trump ticket. Those that are in the blue, and those are mainly the populous counties, they went to Joe Biden. So if we trickle that down and take a look at what happened in the Kansas Senate race earlier in the evening, those first numbers that were coming in were from Johnson County, Riley County. The blue indicates they went for Barbara Boyer. But then as we started getting more numbers in from western Kansas, that big first congressional district, the reds and pinks went for Roger Marshall. And as we take a look at how the votes broke down in that second congressional district race, it is very similar to what happened 2 years ago when Steve Watkins defeated Paul Davis. There were some areas of blue that Paul Davis carried, but then there was enough of those areas that went Republican that carried him to victory. And that's a very similar path that Jake LaTurner took this evening, as he has taken that second congressional district race over Michelle De La Isla. So those are the numbers that we are keeping an eye on. Again, as we take a look here, this is one that would be considered probably the headline major upset of the legislative races tonight, Ralph.
And why businesses hope you'll shop small this holiday season.
Good evening and welcome into the news at 10. Glad you're along with us on this Thanksgiving Eve. We were seeing the skies start to clear a little bit throughout the day, and it could get better as we head into the weekend. Jeremy Goodwin has your first look at that holiday forecast tonight. Jeremy, thanks. Governor Laura Kelly says she is pleased more counties adopted mask mandates. Today was the deadline for counties to implement their own or to take new action to opt out. Otherwise, they'll fall under the state. Here's how the map stacks up. There are now 60 counties with some sort of face covering requirement. Counties in the blue are following the state's order. In the green means that they have passed their own. The purple outline, like in Potawatomi County with the city of Manhattan, that means there is a city mask order, even if the county does not have one. Before the governor's recent push to encourage face covering requirements, only 24 counties were highlighted on this map. The state also is working to help hospitals ease their space crunch. 13's Joseph Hennessy looks at the new system and how hospitals are getting involved.
Melissa.
All right, those vaccines, hopefully after the first of the year. Thank you so much, Joe. The state did report 517 active clusters this week, most in long-term care. This is also private business and schools. 99 of these are exposure locations. That means they had 5 or more cases over the past 14 days. On the list this week, they include Topeka Correctional Facility and the Shawnee County Jail, also Emporia State University and the KU Women's Soccer Team, KNI, Kansas Rehab, St. Francis Inpatient Rehab, and Newman Regional Health. Also for businesses, Hostess, Simmons, and Tyson, all in Emporia. And more than half of the exposure sites, 54 of them, are in long-term care facilities. We have a link to the KDHE full list on WIBW.com. Shawnee County's community transmission and severity scorecard did improve 2 points from last week when it was at that maximum score, but it's still in that red uncontrolled zone. The trend in case numbers, as we take a closer look, is going down. Positive tests also dropped slightly this week to 16.2% positive, but the hospital occupancy and the number of cases with no known source of the transmission came to greater than 90%. Shawnee County's new case numbers also tripled for November compared to the month of October. Health Officer Dr. Gianfranco Pizzino says it's a warning to stay vigilant and avoid gatherings this Thanksgiving. He says a negative test result does not mean it is safe to gather with people outside your household. He also hinted at some good news, though, regarding the COVID-19 vaccine.
That is really the bright light that we need at the end of the tunnel. But make no mistake, this tunnel is still long before we can reach the light. The current precautions must remain in place, and people must take them seriously.
Pizzino says the vaccine could be distributed as early as mid-December. The rising numbers mean Topeka Public Schools will be remote next week. The district announced today the decision is based on the county's scorecard and their own positive case rate. They say if community spread remains high and is impacting staff, they will consider remaining remote until the end of December. Topeka Presbyterian Manor continues dealing with a COVID outbreak, but they got good news about their work to meet federal safety standards. The Kansas Department of Aging and Disability Services conducted 2 surveys this month. Both times they found the care center lived up to established standards for infection control. Executive Director Heather Pilkington says their team has worked hard to keep residents and employees safe, but added you can do everything right and still the virus can find a way into your community. Sadly, they know that all too well. The facility lost 9 residents to the virus in recent weeks. A manufacturing error has caused a stir for one of the companies working on a COVID-19 vaccine. Results released recently showed AstraZeneca's vaccine working 90% of the time with 1 dose and 62% with the second dose. Actually, other way around, 62 after 1, 90 after 2. However, Oxford researchers recently discovered some volunteers in the trials mistakenly received half the dose they were supposed to get. The mistake has been corrected, and the university is talking over how to continue the trial with regulators. Researchers are looking for the most efficient dosage to provide the best protection. President Donald Trump today officially granted a full pardon to his former national security advisor. The White House issued a statement saying the president pardoned General Flynn because he should never have been prosecuted. Michael Flynn pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI in 2017 as part of Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. He attempted to withdraw his plea earlier this year. Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff released a statement saying President Trump was abusing his power.
Thanksgiving Eve means a last-minute rush to the grocery store for many people. Local stores are seeing high foot traffic as shoppers scramble to put together their shopping lists before the holiday. We stopped by the Apple Market on Gage Boulevard. Store manager Terry Fleer says they've been swarmed by customers.
Real busy. I mean, it's steady flow of everything. Customers are coming in right and left, buying a little bit of everything.
Fleer says Apple Market actually ran out of turkeys on Sunday already. Trinity Presbyterian Church did its part to feed the community and support farmers today. The church partnered with the Topeka Rescue Mission and the government's Farmers to Families program. They distributed boxes of fresh fruit, vegetables, and more. The program gives farmers a market for their food by getting it to those who need it most. Church volunteers say they've missed their usual charitable activities due to the pandemic.
This opportunity has been probably one of the best things we've ever done, and we've got tons of volunteers who are so excited to be able to help.
In more normal times, you might see the food going to places like cruise ships or hotels. Students at Eisenhower Middle School also spent the day giving back. Their school partnered with Scent, Walmart, Mount Zion Church, and community members to provide Thanksgiving meal baskets for the school's families and staff who need a little help this time of year. The baskets were delivered this morning.
It's just a way of us giving back to the community. They've been very supportive in us, and we just want to give back to them. And and especially in this time that we're in right now with COVID and remote learning, it's just kind of an opportunity to help out some of those families.
Each basket contained a turkey, ham, stuffing, corn, potatoes, rolls, and items to make green bean casserole and a pumpkin pie. This is a look at Topeka's Black Lives Matter group and Habitat for Humanity working together to distribute free food earlier tonight. The group set up in Chesney Park. They gave out those boxes with the produce, milk, and other items. People also received information on various community resources. They hope to fight hunger and poverty, something they say is prevalent in communities of color.
A lot of folks have lost their jobs, have been impacted by COVID. We know that these disparities are impacting families of color at a far greater rate, and this is a way for us to partner with a lot of different community partners and try to serve a neighborhood that we've been serving for a long time in a lot of different ways.
It's a pretty big deal. It means a lot to us, especially for Black Lives Matter Topeka, to be able to come out in the community and put some work in, make sure that people have the things that they need.
The food was provided through the Topeka Rescue Mission's Operation Food Secure. The holidays bring cheer, but we also recognize depression sets in for many as well, and that group could be especially large this year with all that's going on. If you need help or just want someone to talk to, you can call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Their number is on your screen right now, 800-273-8255. Someone is available 24/7 to be with you if you need them. Wednesday night also is time for us to meet our Kaw Valley Bank Scholar Athlete of the Week. We love doing this. 13 Sports Director Marlia Campbell is here with the introduction. Marlia? Another very impressive young person. Thanks, Marlia, for introducing us. It is turkey time, hours away. We will help you make sure your Thanksgiving meal is perfect and how to get help if you're not quite sure how to make it happen. But first, we'll introduce you to a pair of brothers in this week's Wednesday's Child. Jeremy, thanks. Many of us will celebrate the holidays without family members this year, and while that's a big change for most of us, it's status quo for kids in need of adoption. Tonight, we introduce you to a pair of Wednesday's children who would love to be in their own forever family by next Thanksgiving. We meet Julian and Rodrigo tonight. Julian is 14 years old. He likes to play sports and video games. He also does well in school and says he's proud he works hard at making good grades. His younger brother, Rodrigo, is 12. He likes to play video games, help others, and clean. This kid likes to clean when he has nothing else to do. Rodrigo also does well in school. He says math is his favorite subject. These brothers hope to be adopted together by a family who's patient and understanding. Like all kids, they need love, structure, and consistency. Plus, they just want to be together as they grow up, become adults, and pursue their career goals. Julian wants to be an auto mechanic or welder, while Rodrigo wants to take the stage and become a rapper. If these kids are music to your ears, call and talk about the process of adopting them or any of the other children in need of a forever family. Go to the Adopt KS Kids website. You can also call 877-457-5430 or check out their Facebook page. A Manhattan Traditions found a way to keep going this year. We'll fill you in on that coming up, and also hear why it's so important to keep some of your holiday shopping in the community.